Well, good morning, Rob. This is great to be with you, and we have share some things in common. We both have a son, and you have gone through an unbelievable experience with your family, with Luisa and Jacob, and you are now part of our family. Now that we are down at Outdoors in Palm Springs, and I really want to have you open up and share what that means to you and what you can share about your son Alex.
First off, thanks for having me, Neil. And you're right. We are part of family now. We are part of family. Not just are we neighbors, not just are we pickleball foes. I don't think we've ever played together, but we are friends, and we are friends because of where we spend our cold winter months. So I'm going to tell you about my youngest son, Alex. Um, Alex. Sometimes this is just tougher than you think, eh?
I
But
understand. Take your
yeah,
time.
Alex, of course, yeah. And Alex was the most loving. I know people say this about their kids, but it's just the truth. And my oldest boy, Jacob, would tell you the same thing. Alex was the most loving. What his people, who he felt were his people, were the most important thing to him. And he taught me that. He taught me that that's what family is. Family is for sure your blood, but there's a bigger family out there. And it's a family that you look for. Um, and when you start looking, you don't always find it. But then all of a sudden it creeps up on you. You realize, man, this is family. We can call it community, we can call it whatever you want, but it is family. Again, Alex, he was kind, he was caring, and at Alex's funeral, Alex's best friends got up, and when they spoke about Alex, one thing that resonated with me, and I remember it, they said, Alex, at a party, Alex would be the coolest guy in the room without knowing he was the coolest guy in the room. Everybody wanted to be near him, and he had no idea that he was the coolest guy. Yeah.
Very humble.
Um, he's my youngest son, and I miss him dearly, Neil. I miss him
Yes,
dearly.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
do. I'm sure you do.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you will, take us back to that day. And I know it's a difficult day, but what do you recall and what do you feel comfortable sharing?
Um, I don't know if I need to get into everything, Neil, but I'm going to tell you that May 22nd, 2022, um, was the absolute worst day I could have imagined. That being said, it was also a beautiful day. I say that because, Neil, on the morning of um, May 22nd, uh, I was in my house here, and I was doing a little contract work. I'm retired, so I was doing a little bit of contract work. And Alex he had just finished schooling, got himself a new job, had some time off. So he's spending some time at the cabin, now our house, with me. And in the morning, he goes, "Hey, Papa." I said, "What?" He says, "The lake looks really nice. Maybe we should go and go out for go out for a fish or go out bear hunting." And I said, screw it. Yeah, I don't need to do this work today. By the time I put my work away, Alex had a couple coffees on the go, had some sandwiches made, and I was already hauling stuff down to the boat. So the worst day of my life started beautifully. We got out on the lake on the boat. We were going across the lake. We were fishing. We don't catch any fish. Um, that's that's mostly what we do at this lake here. As we're going across the lake, beautiful. Our lake is 100 kilometers long and like 5 or 6 kilometers wide, 500 feet deep. It's a big lake. We went all the way across the lake. There's a nice beach on the other side, and we said, let's see, maybe because we were fishing, we brought a rifle, we had our bear tag. Let's see if there's any bears over here. So we beached the boat. We went looking in the trees, see if we could see anything. Oh, no, no bears. So we decided to make a fire and roast some hot dogs. I mean, what a day! Can you imagine this day? We roasting hot dogs. Um, Spending some beautiful time together. We laid down in this moss. There's a bunch of moss there, and both of us, I remember this. We both laying down on our backs, and we're looking up at the sky, and think, man, if they could make a bed out of this moss, it would be the best bed ever.
Mm.
I just remember that. We're both laughing at each other,
Mm.
thinking about that, and of course, we're sharing lots of father son, but always I always called him my bro son, and he called me a bro dad
That's great.
because we got to hang out. We got to, of course, he's my son, and he got in trouble when he was young, but he's 25. You know, in his 20s, he's a friend. He's a
Sure.
friend, and I realized that. When we're laying there talking to his, gave his girlfriend a call. I gave my wife a call. We're sitting, beautiful day, beautiful day. We clean up, put the fire out, hop back in the boat, and we said, well, there's another place a little further down the lake. Let's go down there. So we get everything in the boat, start heading towards there, and that's when a terrible, terrible accident happened.
Mm.
I the next thing I remember was I was I smelled gas. I had woken up. I heard a loud noise. Um, I looked around. Our boat was on the rocks. Alex was making noises. He was taking his last breaths.
Mm.
I I I was unconscious, but when I woke up, I I tried to find my place of being a first responder. I'm a fireman and a nurse. Um, and I decided that I didn't decide. I pulled Alex from behind the steering wheel, and I pulled him out of the boat, and I somehow dragged him over to the rocks till I found a flat rock. I I tried to see if he was breathing. I I went through all the steps in in assessing him. Alex had sustained horrific horrific injuries, and while he was breathing, they were some of his last breaths. During this time, I was able to find a phone, um, and I was able to dial 911. And I don't remember doing it, but it's recorded that I actually gave my wife a call, and I told her because we were on the other side of the lake, nobody knew where we were. We were, nobody would come to find us.
Mm.
I told her that we had a horrific boating accident, and my wife is in Calgary. She's 600 kilometers away.
Mm.
She gets this call from me saying there's been a terrible accident and I need somebody to come and get us and to phone the medical and everything else. Anyways, I don't remember doing that, but it was done.
Mm.
I was able to get a hold of a 911 dispatch, um, and I was telling them what was going on as I was waiting for help to come across the lake. I kept trying to clear Alex's his mouth of anything that was in there. I was giving him mouth to mouth. I was doing CPR on him, but I knew
Mm.
Neil that Alex had passed,
Mm.
and I I didn't I couldn't stop.
Mm.
I couldn't stop even though I knew the inside of me knew what had happened and knew where Alex was and knew that Alex was watching me. But the outside of me needed to keep doing what I was doing. Maybe an hour later, Luisa had gotten a hold of a neighbor, brought their pontoon boat across. We're able to get Alex on the pontoon boat, on the front of the pontoon boat. I pushed the boat away and I tried not to get in the boat. I tried just to let myself fall in the lake, and I couldn't. I I got into the pontoon boat and I kept on doing CPR all the way across the lake. We got Alex onto the dock in our marina. By that time, my community here of about maybe 15, 20 people who live in the small community where I am, they were there to meet us. Um, the closest ambulance for us is 45 minutes away when they're in the station. So the ambulance was there. They were trying to help me and are trying to help Alex, but I knew where things were and I didn't want them. I didn't want them there. I didn't feel that they could provide what I needed them to provide. It's at that time that a helicopter bringing a doctor, an emergency room doctor from a company called a nonprofit group called KERPA, the commute. Doesn't matter. I'll tell you
From
later.
Kootenay, I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
the Kootenay Emergency Response Physicians Association. That helicopter came over with Dr. Nick Sparrow. Dr. Sparrow made his way out of the helicopter onto the dock, and he came to me. I need to tell you too that an RCMP officer who also attended the scene, um, he came to me, and I asked him, the first day I asked him is if he had any sons. And he
Mm,
said, yes. I said, I don't need to be a cop. I need to be my friend, and you can't move from Alex's side here. That RCMP officer, that constable, didn't move. He kneeled beside Alex and had a hand on Alex
mm,
until Alex was taken away by the funeral home. He
mm,
did not leave my side. He's what I needed, and I got what I needed, Neil. Nick Kerp, the doctor from KERPA, Dr. Nick Sparrow, he came. Nick is an incredible person as well as an incredible physician. Nick brought with him an emergency room. He did absolutely everything possible to save Alex's life. And in doing so, he saved my life.
mm,
I say that, Neil, because he provided absolutely everything that we could do for Alex. Same thing as if we were in an emergency room. He brought that there. I don't know how long passed. I knew where Alex was. I knew what had happened. Nick put his arm on my shoulder and he asked if he explained that we had done everything and I knew where we were. And he asked if what I would like to do. And I would say, I would like to stop because I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop doing. And Nick let me keep going because he know that's what I needed.
mm,
He gave me permission to stop
mm,
and he let me lay down beside Alex, pull a blanket over top of the two of us. And that's where we waited until the funeral home came. And I remember that four of my neighbors, they're all somewhat older than I am. They are the ones who took Alex in the body bag and carried him up the dock and into the funeral home vehicle.
mm,
It was then that as Alex left, Nick was gathering his stuff and he was going back to the helicopter. And he asked if I was a religious man. Um, I said, right now, I don't know what I am. He asked if he could say a verse with me. This is a doctor. This is going out
mm,
of his doctor piece. But this is what he did. And he recited a verse to me that stuck with me. Nick went back in the helicopter. I went back to my house, or I was walked back to a neighbor's house where we were all sitting. We sat together because I'm waiting for my wife to come. She received the call. A friend of mine had gone to pick her up from wherever she was sitting and was bringing her out. That was a 6 hour drive. On the way, or as Luisa was coming out, I was sitting with my neighbors. I was I was burnt and I was covered in some gas, so I just wanted to have a shower. Um, because this is my community, I think I control things here. So I was able to tell my neighbors that I was fine. I just needed to go by myself. They said, absolutely not. I said, absolutely. Neil, I went to the house. I had a shower. I walked downstairs. I grabbed my shotgun. I loaded my shotgun. I put 3 rounds in my shotgun. And then I Googled ammunition because I didn't know if double lot or triple lot was enough to do what I needed to
Mm,
do.
mm. So sorry.
And it was at that point, Neil, that I had to make a decision. And it wasn't me making a decision, it was something inside me making a decision. Number one, you're kind of crazy, Rob, because why are you loading 3 cartridges in there?
Mm,
You don't need three.
mm,
I realized that was my first. And Neil, I'm trained in suicide prevention. I've talked many of my colleagues in the fire department from doing silly things, and I'm going through the checklist and realizing, holy smokes, Rob, you're one step away from a very big mistake.
mm.
You're not doing this for Alex. You're not doing this for your wife. You need to inside here. And this is what I found, and this is when I put the gun down. I went back to my neighbors and I sat and I waited for my wife.
Mm.
That's how my day
So,
went, Neil.
so thankful. So thankful
I
that you waited.
yeah. I there's something inside here. There's something inside here, Neil. There's something inside here that is bigger than something inside here. I
Mhm.
tell you, and I think many times what I've learned over many of these things is you need to follow this. Do not always follow this. This is the easy one. And throughout this last 3.5 years, this is what's guided me, and this is what's helping to heal me.
An amazing story. It is just tragic,
Thanks.
heartfelt, but an amazing story. I think to
Thank you.
anyone that has a son, um, this resonates. I know myself, my own son, we've had some close calls, but nothing like this. But it brings it real into life. What um, it's really
It does.
difficult to talk about this and share, but I think you sharing hopefully will help you, but hopefully help others that are listening to this to understand that the emotions you can go through, no matter how much training you have, it's a difficult time. My wife was in a similar situation at ORPS, actually. Her father, on his 71st birthday, had gone up to receive his, you know, this happy birthday song, walked out the front door and collapsed and died from a heart attack. She was a trained nurse. My mother was a nurse, and the ambulance couldn't come in time. And it's not the same, but you feel helpless at times.
Neil, I'm gonna say that you're right. It's not the same. And what I've realized is your grief is yours. Your worst grief is your worst grief.
Mm,
It doesn't have to be the loss of a child.
mhm,
It could be the loss of a brother. I don't know what
mhm.
that's like. I
Sure.
certainly don't know what it's like to lose a spouse. I I can't imagine those griefs. But what I've realized is your worst grief is your worst grief.
Mm.
That's where it lands. It lands the same as my worst grief. Um, I don't like, I don't, in the beginning, that people would say, I can't, I mean, one thing people say is, I can't imagine. And I said, yes, you can. They said, no, I can't. I said, Jim, I said, you just got the police knock on your door and say your son's dead. Oh, don't say that, Rob. I said you couldn't imagine. If you want to imagine, you could imagine. Let's not use those words. Words matter. I think that's what I've also realized is words matter. And that's why there's there's no worst grief. There's just grief. And it's what we do with that grief and our relationship with grief that is important.
Knowing what you know and how you felt, how best to comfort someone in your position at that time, would you say, or would you share with others?
Like, are you talking initially?
Yes, I think that's initially and
Yeah.
thereafter. I mean, that
Well,
person's real to you every day. You see Alex.
yeah. I'll tell you, for Louisa and I, in the first hours, days, weeks, what could anybody do? Absolutely nothing.
Mm.
Louisa and I were drowning. We always described it as what we want to do when we wake up in the morning is dig a big, deep pit and lay in it. There's, we both had the same, not that every morning you wake up and this can't get better. You are convinced it can't get better. And by somebody telling you that it will, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The truth is, Neil, in the beginning, there is absolutely nothing you can do. We
Mm.
had every bit of support. My family is one thing, but as I said before, and Alex will say it, Alex has said it, that family is your community. It's the people that are important in your life. And what we had is in the community where I live here on the lake, it's a very important community. It's a very important people to us. And those are the people that were always there. And as time went on, as the days and the weeks, just a little bit of advice to give to people is don't say, let me know what I can do. Just ask. And the thing is not that. The thing is doing. The thing is not asking. I had a friend who lost a son. I drove to his house and I sat out front of his house, Neil, and I said, I'm here. Look out your window. I'm here. If it's for a hug, if it's for whatever else. What we need to do is do. Let me know if I can bring anything over. No, bring something over. Let me know if I could.
Mm.
No. So actions are what counts.
Mm.
Actions
Mhm.
mean everything. And one thing that I asked for 3.5 years ago, because I realized I had just retired. Louisa had just retired. Um, what I needed and people, your circle of friends when you're not working gets smaller,
Mhm.
but it also gets stronger. So I asked these circle of friends, my tier two, tier three friends, call them what you want.
Mhm.
I said, you know what? I'm not going to phone you. I am not going to text you. But once in a while, throw Captain Zimich, throw Rob, throw Zim, throw me a text and just say, Zim, thinking of you, dude. Have a great day. And you know what I get, Neil, on this phone? I get messages,
Mm.
maybe from some guys once every 6 months, maybe
Mhm.
once a month. And it's just sometimes it's just a picture of a coffee cup. I have a good friend who can't talk about things, but when he has a nice coffee, he sends me a nice picture of his coffee, and I send him a
Mm.
picture of my coffee.
Wow.
It's that connection, but it's doing. And I think that's what helped. both Louisa and I, words couldn't do anything. Words were useless. It was doing when people were doing and people were there, not not just in words, but actually there. When somebody says, I'll come. I had a great friend come down from the Yukon. We had friends come from the coast. We had family come from Vancouver. Of course, we had all those people. We didn't ask them to come. They came.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's what I would say as any advice. I'm not great at giving advice, but I will tell you that doing is what needs to happen.
That's an excellent point. Excellent point.
Neil, I don't know where this is going to fit into our podcast, but uh, are you a hockey fan, Neil?
I just took a great interview with Jimmy Harrison from up in BC, who played with
Do
Bobby Orr and Wayne
yeah.
Gretzky. I'm
Do you
getting more
know?
interested.
Very good. Do you know who a player named Johnny Gaudreau is?
I've heard of him, yes.
Uh, um, it's been just over a year. Johnny Gaudreau was a favorite hockey player of mine, and he had a brother as well, and they were killed in
Hmm.
an accident a year ago. And because Johnny played in Calgary, I'd seen him a couple times at events where the fire department would do events, and I'd met him, and he seemed like such a good kid. And when him and his brother died, I had there did a they had a press conference, and I saw Johnny's dad, Guy Gaudreau.
Hmm.
I saw Guy, and I saw Guy's face, and I just wanted to reach out and give him a hug
Sure.
because his sons were died just days before, and I know no words could do anything.
Hmm.
No words, but I just wanted to give him a hug. I just, at that point, that's what he needed. That's all I could do. And that's what he needed to do something.
And that's what you needed too.
That's exactly. I, you don't know what you need. Yeah, that's the thing is you just don't know what you need, eh? That's why people doing just need to do. Get out of people. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know how many times why didn't you like give me a call? I don't want to say the wrong thing. So saying nothing is the wrong thing.
Mhm.
Saying, Rob, hey, Rob, ah, 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 I have no idea what to say. Makes me so happy. You're right. I have no idea either. That's the best thing. When people say, I don't know what to say, that's a great thing to say. I have no effing idea what to do. No, neither do I, man. Thank you for phoning. It meant so much every time somebody was able to do that.
That is a great message. It is a great
Mm,
message to show. Rob,
thanks.
when you came up to me at ORPS and you asked about the podcast, and you said, I'm going
Mhm.
to share. You said, I'm going to share what ORPS, the family, meant to you. Can you expand on
Um, yeah, I think if people are familiar with ORPS, and I think you maybe would fill people in. Um, after the accident, 6 months later, Luisa and I are still in such a deep hole. But we're trying to do things, whether it's going out for supper, maybe we throw up our meals. We're okay with that. Maybe if it's going away for 2 days and after the first day, forget this, we're driving home. Um, we gave ourselves permission to try things. We were, I got the best partner in the world. I got an
that?
incredible wife, you know that.
Yes.
And not just looking, but incredible up here
Mhm.
too, and in here. She and I decided that maybe we should try going away. And a neighbor had talked about ORPS, and we looked on the website and we found that there was a cancellation. We went and um, we wrote to the people and they said, yeah, we have a cancellation. I think it was for January 1st, and this is maybe in December. I'm not exactly
Mhm.
sure. But we said, well, we can't get down there in 2 days and we're not prepared mentally. And
Sure.
so we said, we'll rent it for 3 weeks. Oh, they said, okay, it's better than nothing. So Louisa and I, we drove to ORPS, went to ORPS, got in our trailer. And for 3 weeks, Louisa didn't get out of her trailer.
Mm.
We were in a different place. She might pick a grapefruit in the yard. She spent most of her time in there. That's what Louisa needed. Um, every day we would say to each other, do we need to leave? Didn't matter. We had paid, didn't matter anything else. If we need to go back to our home,
Sure.
no, we felt okay. It was during that time, Neil, that I went to the pickleball courts.
Mm.
And this sounds so stupid when I say it. I don't understand it. It's a weird thing. I know. But it makes me smile, and I haven't smiled for like probably the last 15 minutes. So now I'm going to smile because I went to the pickleball courts and I had a racket, and somebody said, "Hey, you play pickleball?" I don't know. Some smart Alex said, I had a racket in my hand, and I said, "No, no, I'm just flipping pancakes here." You'll fit in well. Come and play. And I played a game, and I met two people. Next day I came out, I met like 4 or 5 other people, and somebody said, "Hey, Rob, come and play over here." I said, "Oh, remember who? Wow." And maybe by the time I'd come home and I'd tell Louise about these people I'd meet, and she
Mhm.
was she was excited for me. It wasn't her thing, but maybe Louisa would go for a walk. She'd walk around the neighborhood or something. I found this community there, and after 3 weeks, I I was even able to share because inevitably some of the questions will come up, you know, um, do you have kids? And yeah, I have 2 kids. My oldest boy, his name's Jake. He lives up in Vanderhoof. He raises sturgeon. He's a couple grandkids, blah blah. And I'd say, and I have a younger boy, Alex, and he died in an accident 6 months ago. That information doesn't go to everybody. That information goes to very, very special people. And I think I was able to share that story, Neil, with 3 or 4 other people because I felt comfortable, even after a short time with those people, that I could share
Sure.
my story. And I don't get into the whole piece, but enough of the story that everybody was, well, we're so glad you're here. It's so nice to hear.
Mhm.
And you know what it did, Neil? It opened so many doors up about somebody losing their mother,
Mm.
about losing a nephew, about other people's grief. And I would come back and say to Louisa that I felt like I was a counselor being counseled.
Mm.
Like it was working both ways. There had this
Mhm.
peace. And we left ORPS after 3 weeks, came home. I said, well, would you do that again? Let's think on it, eh? So we said next year, yeah, let's try it again. But let's go for 2 months. Let's try that. Okay, well, let's try it. We went back after a day. Um, I go play some pickleball. Louisa comes with me. People, Rob, I can't believe you came back. Awesome to see you back. Great to be back. Oh, hey, this, hey, Dennis, hey, Jim, hey, Tony, hey, Luke. All of a sudden, it's like this community welcomed me back. They welcomed Rob as I am now because I'm a changed person, Neil.
Mm.
I'm not better. I'm not worse. I'm just different than what I was. And it's not that Alex has forgotten. Alex is with me. Alex is with me at ORPS.
Mm.
Jake is with me at ORPS. But I was able to fit back in. I had this community, and this community doesn't just play pickleball, Neil. This community, we have a few happy hours together too. So yes, I can see. I'm glad you're smiling too because we have times where we have supper together. You've had us over to your house for some great evening entertainment. Have some nice supper and some great conversations. We would go out with people from pickleball. We would share this experience from pit. We would do. All of a sudden, after 2 months, this is fantastic. We it pickleball allowed us to then go to single. It allowed us to go to the talent show. It allowed us to take all of ORPS in. So now it's not just pickleball. Pickleball was the catalyst for ORPS. Now I want to be on the committee. I want to be on a safety committee. I want to be in charge of this. I want to
Good
take
for you.
Louisa's taking tap dance lessons. She takes line dance lessons. So we came home after 2 months. I said, do you want to do this again? Yeah, we met a super nice guy, Connie and Mike, another great couple. I mean,
Yes.
believe me,
Yes.
I'm not going to say any more names because we have so many great friends down there. But Connie and Mike, they were renting their trailer. Um, and they said, well, they were going to rent it for like 3 months. And we only wanted it for two. And then we just said, well, we should just stay for three. And I'm like, this is my wife, the one who 2 years ago didn't come out of the trailer. Now she wants to rent for three months. Sounds good to me. I'm happy. It's my happy place. We come back last year after being there for a week, Neil. This is my place. These are my homies. This is my land. I said, Louise, I said after a week, oh, maybe we should just buy something here. And she goes, and after 2 or 3 days of this, she says, Rob, can we not just enjoy this beautiful place? Like, just stop looking to go more and more and just enjoy this. I said, okay. Usually I don't say okay, but this time I said okay. After a week of not saying anything, Louisa comes back and she goes, I think we should buy something here. I said, instead of being stupid, I've learned after 36 years to shut your mouth and enjoy this. But she says, I want to stay on this cul-de-sac. And it's on this little cul-de-sac where I got Marge the cookie lady, I got Connie and Mike, I got Llewellyn and Dave, I got yourself and Sue. I've got this group of people that this is my family. Oh, yeah. I call them my family. Like, and Louisa said, if we could find a place on this cul-de-sac, I would like to buy here. Lo and behold, there's a place for sale on the cul-de-sac. And last year, politically in Canada, it might not have been a great time. Politically in the US, also a very trying time. Canadian dollar, all three terrible reasons to buy a place down there. But guess what we did? We bought a place right across from you, as you know. And we bought this and we said, oh my God, what are people going to say? People back home, they think you guys are nuts. What are you doing? This is like politically. We realized this makes us happy. This isn't my favorite word. This brings us joy. And ORPS and the people at ORPS bring us joy. It's not because I forget about grief. It's because I'm able to have my connection with grief and joy in this beautiful place. And Neil, we bought last year, and this year, as in a matter of a month and a bit, we'll be down there in November visiting with you.
We look forward to it, and we're blessed for it. We are truly blessed for it.
We are so lucky. I mean, we got one neighbor. I don't know about Dennis, but we'll go that way, eh? That's going to
Oh,
be a fun
yes.
time. Yeah.
Yes, we look forward to it. We look forward to sharing our U.S. Thanksgiving with you. So that'll be fun.
We look forward to sharing all our great Canadian traditions with our great American friends.
Well, I have to admit, one of the times I met you, you were wearing this bright green outfit. And my wife and I looked at you and thought, who is this guy? And then the next
Yeah.
time I saw you, here comes this guy in a kilt playing bagpipes. And I thought, who is this guy? I got to get to
Yeah.
know him.
Yep.
And you made quite an impression on us,
Good.
as you still do. But we welcome you. We welcome you, and it'll be a fun time. We look forward to this year.
You know what? That's what we say, Neil, is that I just a couple of days ago I asked Louise, I said, any regrets about, actually purchasing down there? And she said, the easiest decision we ever made. Like,
That's
really?
great. That's great.
Easiest decision. It brings so much joy to us just thinking about, and it's not actually um going to Marge's cookie class or line dancing or having drinks with Cliff or it's about this community and this place and um and this family that found us and we found them.
That's
Pretty
great.
cool.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. And
And
the
it's
great,
hard to it's hard to sorry Neil, but it's just impossible to explain to people. And the one person I wanted to understand this was my son Jake.
Mhm.
And Jake was working lots, and we told him what he did, and he's very supportive of his mom and dad. And we flew Jacob down from Vanderhoof. That's Vanderhoof to Prince George to Calgary to Palm Springs. We flew him down for 48 hours.
Hmm.
We brought Jake out. He loves pickleball too, no doubt.
Great.
We brought him out to the pickleball courts. We brought him to a couple happy hours. He met some people. And you know, when I took Jake to the airport, he says, Papa, I get it.
That's
I
great.
couldn't get it from you explaining, but I just needed 2 days here. And I get it. He listed off 15 people's names of people he had met that were so happy to see him and had heard so much about him. He's
Mhm.
there for 48 hours and he
Wow.
brought this home. That's why Jake, he realizes, yeah, I see why I see this place. It's impossible. I don't think people can understand unless you have a piece of that pie.
Right.
Yeah.
Through this, you experience your faith. You experience a lot of emotions, and you have that now. It's part of your DNA. It's an imprint on you.
Yep.
How has that faith shaped you, and how do you think it will shape you in the future?
Yeah. That's the word faith. It's probably it's a good word. Um I'm Catholic. My wife is Catholic. I since the accident, my relationship with God in the beginning it was very trying. I had
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
bad words. I had a lot of I have a lot of see I say have because I think I still do. I have
Mhm.
a lot of anger
Mhm.
and I'm working on my relationship. I'm working on this relationship. It's bigger than what it was. Right now, my faith is larger, and I guess I haven't thought about it that much, Neil. That's a great question because it makes me think. But my faith now doesn't come solely from my head about what I was told or what I need to listen or what I've read. A lot of my faith comes from in here.
Living it.
And say that again.
You're living your faith.
I I am. And I think people can see me and they can see what kind of person I am and they see where my faith is. My faith is not necessarily just based on a book or based on a person. I'm not saying it's none of that, but it's bigger than that.
Mhm.
And my faith is still developing now. My faith, what I believe, is still developing now. I um I I know what I need. I know what I need. And sometimes, Neil, I think everybody could do it. If you close your eyes and you open your arms, and I do this all the time, and I think, what is it that I need right now? And sometimes it's just you need to go outside. You need to take some deep breaths. You need to go and go for a motorcycle ride. You sometimes if you look inside, you know what you need. Sometimes it's tangible things. Sometimes it's just closing your eyes and thinking. I really just think a lot of the answers that we look for, they're there. We just don't necessarily tap this thing, right? We don't go after them. We don't listen. We don't give this as much credit as we need to. We need to give inside here way more credit.
Very good point. Very good point.
Mm,
Well said.
yeah.
Well, Rob, I'm grateful. I'm very pleased that you took this time and shared, and we so look forward to seeing you and me sit down and having you over and sharing Thanksgiving. And I appreciate you bringing joy to us, known to us as your new family, joy to ORPS. And we
Yeah.
look forward to that.
I
Sharing.
think it's, I think Neil, it's a great relationship. It's a great relationship that I believe we're adding to ORPS, and I believe ORPS is adding to us. Before the interview, we talked about, I explained things in a fuel tank that sometimes when you put something out, you drain yourself, your tank goes low. I do that, but my tank is always refilled at ORPS. It's always brought back up, and it's about the community and this new family that that I've adopted and have adopted me.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
Rob, to our listeners, I just want to share, we've been talking about ORPS and the ORPEs, and we do consider it a family. And for those that don't know, ORPS Outdoor Resorts at Palm Springs, it's orps.com. It will share you a website and show some of the family that we enjoy. And Rob and Luisa, you are certainly one of them. So thank you. I thank you for this time.
And and I thank you, Neil. Thank you for letting me share. And um this can be cut out, Neil. I something very important that I want to share, if I could have just 30 seconds,
You may, please.
is Neil, there's many people believe that grief and joy are on here's grief and here's joy. And in order to get more joy, you need to have less grief.
Mm,
And this is how it works. But that's not how it works, Neil. When you look in here, I don't want to be less sad for losing my son.
mhm.
I don't want to be less sad. I can still have a cry. I still cry about losing up. I want to be sad. But in the same way, I want to pipe through the streets of Orp and have this big poop-eaten grin on my face and be so happy at the same time. So guess what? I can have 100% grief and I can have 100% joy. I get to have both. So don't look to reduce one to get the other. Get your relationship with grief, get it aligned, because it's not going away. You're always going to be sad that this happened, but guess what? You can have the joy in the same place. So I want to share that with anybody who's dealing with grief. Grief does not stop you from having joy.
That's a great message. I
Thanks for
appreciate
letting
it.
me say that, Neil. That took a long time for me to come up with. It came up out of here, and it's actually the path I'm on right now, and it's what's guiding me.
That's great. Thank you. Blessings to you.